Welcome to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO. And for those of you that don't know who we are, Ron and I are the co-founders of the Ridge Project and the co-creators of TYRO.
TYRO is a Latin word which means apprentice, novice, someone learning something new, a warrior.
Ooh-wee. And when we talk about warriors, we mean somebody that's warring for their own family's legacy, becoming a leader in their home, their community, and their workplace.
And this is really important, especially if you find yourself in prison, which we're talking to a prison
So obviously
audience,
you found yourself
right?
there.
And you're looking for a way out of the rut that you're in. And today's subject is about that, finding a new path for your life that will end up on what you've been dreaming about. Because I remember when I was incarcerated, and what Cathy, so I did 15 years inside, Cathy did 15 years on the outside.
Right.
But out of our experience, we birthed what is called TYRO.
Right. That's why we know what we're talking about. We know what it means to overcome all the obstacles of incarceration. We know what it is to overcome social stigma. We know what it is to build a strong, lasting, foundational family that is going to be generational.
But has the battle stopped?
No,
The battle
every
hasn't
day's a
stopped.
battle.
So just recently,
Strap up those boots every day.
so today we're going to talk about something not only dear to our hearts, but it should be dear to your heart, because this is something that's going to help you become successful. You know, everybody in prison is dreaming about where they're going to go, what they're going to do, and how they're going to get there.
And so today we're going to break down what it means to find your right path. Because there's a million things you could do, but there are only a few things that you're really going to enjoy doing, things that are going to really spark your imagination and your passion, and you're going to be like, wow, I love to do this. And that's what we want to help you figure out, is what is the right path. Because as you begin to figure that out for yourself, you are going to be able to help your children figure out their right path too.
You know, a lot of times, you know, before we were incarcerated, I thought I was on the right path. I thought the path I was on, right, was going to lead me to financial freedom.
Right.
But it landed me to financial debt.
That's right.
I thought, and now listen, I remember back before I went to prison, we first get married, I was selling Amway, I was selling vacuum cleaners. I knew that this next thing, this is gonna get us, baby. This is what's gonna do it. I was playing music, right, baby, you know what? Now I can do this. But everything I was trying to do end up leading us in disarray, right? Is that the word? Disarray, destitute. That's the word.
There it is.
Destitute, right? But why couldn't I find it? What was my problem in my thinking that I ended up in prison?
So we're going to talk about all of that today. And so we're going to be right back. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back and tell you and share with you how you can find your own right path.
So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine TYRO's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
Today we're talking about how to find the right path.
Ooh, not just the right path, your right path,
that's a
right?
good word. That's
because
good word.
my right path is definitely not going to be yours. Ron's right path is definitely not going to be yours. You need to figure out what the right path is for you.
But how did we find the path for each other?
Oh, that's a scary story. We'll have to save that
That's
for another
amazing.
time.
Right.
So when we talk about what is it we mean you figuring out what is it that you really like to do. What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your abilities? What is your passion, right? What are the things that make you just want to get up every morning? What's your big why? And those are the things that you need to leverage in order to find your own right path.
You know, as you guys go through your journey of incarceration and really finding avenues on how to become mentally free, though you're physically incarcerated, right? That's what we're talking about.
Right.
You begin to grow and you begin to dream. You begin to dream about, what am I going to do when I get home? You begin to do, what am I going to do right now, this moment in the penitentiary? You know, and as you walk this path, what is it? This path that you find and that you create for your journey is a path of improvement, is a path of empowerment. What is it? It's a path of freedom.
Oh, yes, That's right. When we think about finding your own right path, for some of you, it might actually be like, you know what? I want to be a truck driver. I want to take CDL. That's the right path for you. Some of you might say, you know what? I really want to go to college. I want to get a 4-year degree, or I want to get my master's, and I want to study history, or I want to study art. That's the right path for you. Some of you, you know what? I want to be an artist. I want to be a writer. I want to be an author. I want to be a speaker. Some of you, you know what? I want to be a bricklayer. You have to figure out what it is you want that is going to bring you joy, but also a place where you can contribute.
You know, and Cathy's bringing great examples of it. But along this path, gentlemen, we got to really be real what this path looks like. Because in our path, we have what was called consequences of our actions prior to waking up to discovering this new path in our life. So as you're on this journey, we're going to talk about this.
Whole new obstacles.
Right? You got to face the consequences of our past path. Right? Now you might you're creating a new path, but you know what? Things are going to come up in this path that are behind you, that are going to come back in front of you, like child support, for example. The child support that you owe is behind you, but now it's all of a sudden you see it in your path. Man, I got to pay that child support. That's part of your path. So now part of taking we're talking about empowering. This path will empower you to take full responsibility, right? For the path you created in the past. Right? And that's an awesome sense of freedom because you own it. As you find this path, what is it? This path is empowering, improving freedom in your life, but owning the path you created in the past when you were unconscious and you was on this journey just crashing and burning and hurting and doing all those things.
Right. And so when we think about the right path for you, the path that has gotten you to this place, obviously is not the right path for you. But you can learn and grow from, okay, you know what? This is what has happened in my past. I'm not going to be bitter. I'm going to make it better. And that my past will actually qualify me for my future if you let it, right?
And you learn from it. So in this path, you become a learner. That's what's really awesome. A TYRO is always learning. And dads, listen, as you're learning and growing, as Cathy's saying, you're going to be so empowered that nothing will take you or distract you from your new path.
And obstacles are gonna show up, just like Ron was talking about. There's gonna be stuff from your past, or even people's opinions about you from your past. They're gonna come up and they're gonna try to block your path. And you know what? You cannot let that happen, because not only what we are talking about is not just you finding your right path, but as you forge your right path, you're creating a pathway for your children, Dad, for your kids to look up to you and say, wow, look what my dad overcame. Wow, look what my dad did. And it's gonna build a brand new respect for you, a brand new honor, one that will be timeless, not one that depends upon you being there and demanding it.
So we can bring it all the way home. Let's personify right now, right where you're at, the path of incarceration. You're in a path, you're in a journey right now, and this pruning that's taking place, this cutting away of the fat in your life that's taking place when you embrace the path you're on right now, that led you up all the time, that led you up into doing 5 years, 10 years, whatever the time the sentence is, that's part of this path, that's part of this journey. This is where you wake up to realize the path that you're on, and now you're empowered to either change your course of action, your course, your directory, right? Find your true north, or you continue to stay asleep and blame others for your experience that you're having. Right? So part of the path is owning your story.
So we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to talk to you about why it's so important that you find the right path. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Playing catch, basketball, laughing, and enjoying each other's company. These are all normal things on the outside, but many times are missed in a visitation setting. TYRO Dads brings the same fun experience to the inside through family days. As a TYRO Dad, you have the opportunity to participate in this fantastic event. Family Day is designed to allow fathers and families to engage with each other through activities designed to stimulate communication, learning, and play. Family Days will not only be a highlight for you, but for your children as well. The Ridge Project has strategically developed Family Day as an opportunity to help you connect with your child throughout your separation and help both of you develop skills to continue building your relationship when you return home.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we're talking about finding the right path for you. And which is really important because a lot of times we keep stumbling and we keep traveling and we're doing things, but you know what, it doesn't work, this doesn't work. That's okay. People don't understand that, failure is not fatal. But as long as this path, you're gonna fail, you're gonna fall, right? In finding that which is productive and produces fruit, healthy fruit in your life.
So why it's important is because, up until this point, either you've just gone with the flow, you landed in a place where, you were following somebody else's story that they wrote out for you, right? And so you were just like falling into it and saying, okay, well, this is convenient, this is accessible, this is expected, this is anticipated, right? Well, now you have the opportunity to literally figure out for yourself your own plan. You get to look at all of the options out there and say, okay, the world is your canvas, and that is truth. You know what? There are a few things, depending on your conviction, that you might not be able to do, right? So cross those things off your list and concentrate on the other millions of opportunities before you. And then figure out, okay, wow, what do I like? It's so important because when you get caught up in somebody else's dream for you, you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, you're miserable, you do crazier and crazier things because there's something lacking inside of you. Inside of you is this desire to live up to your potential, and you're not able to do it. Once you tap into the right path for you, whatever that job is, whether it's going to trade school, whether it's going to college, whether it's just coming out and getting a job right away, whatever it is, once you tap into that, then you are inspired to continue on that right path. That's the big why. The big why is, okay, why am I doing it? Because I want something different from my life. I want something different from my children and my legacy.
And why is it important also is to know that by doing it the right way, that which you do in your path and you conquer and you accomplish and you build something, it will last. It will last. This is what your journey is about, dads. You're on this journey to build a legacy that will outlast you. But if you're doing it out of a whim, you're doing it because somebody else is doing it, and you're doing it because somebody else encouraged you, but you're not doing it because you said, I want to do that.
Right.
And if Cathy said, if you're living somebody else's dream, then what you're building isn't going to be eternal. It's not going to last, man. It's not going to outlast you, right? Because when you leave this path, you go find a path, what you built, there's nothing to sustain it.
Unless I'm going to say this, unless you're helping somebody else make their dream come true and you're learning from them so that you can apply those principles to on your own path and building, then that's okay. But what we're talking about is when you're doing something from a sense of duty, right? Like, wow, you know what? I owe Jim because Jim's always been there for me, man. I have to do this because, Jim's expecting me to do this. And he's telling me I'm the only one that can do it. Even though you don't want to do it, you don't feel good about doing, and it actually causes you to lose your own self-respect when you do it, then that's the wrong path.
That's a good litmus test. Does it devalue you, right? The path that you're on, is it bringing honor to your family? How do you know if you're on the right path? Well, you got to ask yourself some questions. Does it bring honor to me? Does it bring honor to my wife or the mother of my children? Or does it bring honor to my children? Because if it doesn't do one of those things or none of those things, then you're not on the right path. You're still on the path of self-destruction. Right. So when you start to qualify that this journey that I'm on is bringing honor to my family, is bringing honor to myself, is bringing honor to my children, is bringing honor to my community and everything else, who all else is involved in your life, whether you see them or not, your path should be a blessing, should be able to empower others, whether you know them or not.
You should be contributing value, right? And so in the past, you were extracting value. You were extracting value from your community. You were extracting value from your children. And really, truly, the truth is, while you're in prison, you have to fight really hard because you're still extracting value from your family. Now, that might be like, well, I can't help it. Like they have to come visit me and they have to pay for it. They want to call me or talk to me, they have to pay for it. They're going to write letters, they're going to pay for it. Whatever it is, that's still extracting value. but their hope is that there's going to be a return on that investment. So as you think about your plans for the future, you think about planning out and plotting out your path, the thing for which you are so passionate about, your biggest dream, the thing that maybe you laid on the shelf before thinking, wow, I can't possibly do that. Pick it back up, dust it off, and say, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. All I need to do is connect to the right people, the right resources, and I'm going to get my degree. You know what? I'm going to go to that trade school. You know what? I'm going to get a job in that industry.
Why is it important? Your path, people are counting on you to be on the right path. Your path will qualify them for their future. Who? Your children's future, Dad. Your path that you're choosing right now, when you leave that penitentiary, what you're practicing inside there, and you're going to take that outside there, and you're going to put it to the realm of your family and to your community. They're counting that you understood and you learned and you grew during your time out, if you will, right? And now you're equipped to do life and do it right, right? Because you chose the right path. This is what's important, Dad. And you're not hanging around lames. You're not hanging around knuckleheads. You're not going to show up late for work. You're going to be a man of your word. And on this path, it'll say there's going to be a street sign. He is a man of his word. That's what the street sign says. Maybe another street sign on your path can say he is a man of integrity. And you're going to read it back. I am a man of integrity. I am. The road over here, when you turn right, it says you love your family. You know, what does the road sign say that the path that you're on about you?
So when we come back, we're going to talk to you about how. You know, what are the things that you can begin doing right now so that you can really discover and begin to really run down that path that is the right path for you.
So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Dear son, it's been hard these last few years watching you grow up without me in the picture. Never taking the time to find out how you were or what was going on in your life. You're just a boy, I thought. You don't need me. I didn't need my dad. He was never around, I told myself. But I was wrong, son. I'm supposed to be a grown man. I was selfish. I was stupid. I was thinking of me, not you. If I could go back, son, and change things, I would. It's taken me all this time being selfish to finally grow up and realize I need to be a responsible man. That's what I finally learned, not from prison, but the TYRO program. It's all about becoming a better, stronger man. Wish I would have gotten it sooner. Everything looks different to me now. I'm a changed person. I know I need to be there for you now. It's not about me anymore. It's not about being cool. It's not about who I run with. It's about Mom. It's about you. It's about being a better man, learning something new in my life. It's about being a TYRO, a man worth following. I'm your dad. You're my son, and I love you. I am a TYRO. I'm a TYRO. Dad.
If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO or just want to know more, contact your local Ridge Project facilitator or your caseworker.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron TYRO.
And I'm Cathy TYRO.
And today we're talking about the path of life.
Your path, right? Your right path. What is it as you sit and consider your life and you think about all the things that you've experienced, all the things that you've done to this point? What is the right path for you? What is it that you really want to do and really want to accomplish? That's what we're talking about today.
You know, and right now, the segment now is about how to implement it. How do you know that you're doing it right? What do you do? You know, I want to find my path, Cathy. I want to, you know what? I wind up on welfare. I couldn't hold a job down. I became an alcoholic. You know what? I was smoking dope. I was a bad dad, and I can't seem to do anything right with you. You know, I'm a bad husband. I mean, that's my path. That's been my journey. Now I'm incarcerated. Now what? Now what do? I'm in prison, and I'm just trying to get my wife to pick up the phone. Right?
I just wanted to come visit me.
I just want to visit. You know what? So what do I do? How do I clean it up?
So here's a really great number one, right? When we think about how to actually find your right path. Don't make it dependent on what someone else does. And so as Ron was describing that, we hear that so much from guys that they're like, well, you know what? I just need to get my relationship right with my girl first. I just really need to convince her. And it's like, you know what? As you begin to get on the right path and you begin doing the right thing, that's what will speak volumes to her. You know, she's heard all of the stories in the past. She's sick and tired of hearing what you're going to do and oh, baby, it's different this time and I'm really going to do this. She wants to see it.
I've changed, sweetheart.
I've changed, baby. I've changed. Okay, enough of that, right? Do it. So the number one is don't wait for anybody else. Don't wait for anything else to get right in your life. Start figuring out your right path and start walking down that path, and that will help align other things in your life.
Another thing that we talk a lot about is courage. You know, it takes this is a level of courage that maybe you even don't understand that you have. Everybody has this type of courage, but they don't know how to tap into it. And so if you've been hanging around the same group of people that you found on the streets, and now you found the same mentality inside the institution, and now you're listening to this, right? You listen to our voice, and you're thinking about, you know what? I gotta make a change. I gotta get it right. But I can't break free from them, guys. What will they say about me? You know, this is where fear will try to stop you from doing the right thing. You know, and if they're gonna hate on you, let them hate on you, man.
Right.
This ain't about them. It's about you and your success with your family. And so you gotta step out and you gotta say, number two, right? The first one was right. Don't make it dependent on somebody else. That's your peers too. And then you got to have the courage to do it. You got to find that, you know what, I'm not going to run with the herd mentality anymore. I'm going to turn away. I'm going to walk different. I want to start reading. I want to start learning how to write. I want to learn how to tell my story. I want to learn how to do this. So now you're going to separate yourself from the masses.
So when we think about courage, I remember when Ron was in prison, and it's like I had to find the courage to get off of welfare. I had to find the courage to start my own business. I had to find the courage to advocate for my own kids. And I remember what I would literally do is at night before I went to bed, I would make a list of the things I needed to do, and I would say to myself, Cathy, you can do this. Nobody's gonna do it for you. Either you stay stuck where you are or you do these things tomorrow. And it was really like this confrontation with myself where I had to confront my fears. My will had to be stronger than my fear. Say that. My will is stronger than my fears. And when your will is stronger than your fear, courage will rise up, because courage doesn't mean acting in the absence of fear, right? We've all heard this. Courage is acting in spite of the fear. And so I had fear of rejection. I had fear of failure. I had fear of unintended consequences. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what if I do this and everything falls apart and I'm worse off? And it was just like I had to conquer that. My will say, you know what? Even if I fall down, even if I knock on that door I think I want to go in and they open it up and what I want is not behind it, I will just go to the next door. It cannot be stopped.
And that same fear was with you guys. Come on, it was with me. I'm in there and I'm trying to live a different life. I want to have a different mentality. I don't want to take anything for granted anymore, right? But I don't want to walk around there like thinking people owe me because I'm there. You know, if I don't get chow, if I don't get my rec, and I don't want to. I'm entitled to this. And my fear was, you know, nobody wants to be rejected. Nobody wants to be disliked. But I realized that even in penitentiary, you guys know this, that now we're practicing something that maybe we took for granted even in there. We're being really selective of who we associate ourselves with. Now, you can see the gang life in there and that whole mentality in there. But when you find that one that is separated himself, who says, you know what, I'm gonna be quiet. I gotta be silent. I gotta get myself together. I gotta get ready. So when I get home, I never have this experience again. I never want to come back to prison. But I realize now that I gotta learn what got me here, right? And that's part of the path. How do you do this? You have to separate yourself for a little while and embrace this guy named silence. That's you got, don't make it about somebody else, right? Have the courage to have your will must overpower your fear, right? But then embrace silence. Because to find the path of success in your particular life, right when you're in this penitentiary, there's a lot of noise going on in that prison. There's a lot of voices that you're hearing.
And that's just going to create confusion. When you can actually be silent and just be still and really think about what is it you really want? What is it that really inspires you to continue to do? That's the things you need to do. And then the last thing, you need to find somebody that can help you get on that path. And we're talking about workforce development when I think about that. So if you want to go to college, if you want to go to a trade school, or you think, you know what, I want to get a job in this, you need to start looking and saying, what are my options? So that as you transition out, you're prepared and you're ready for the next chapter in your life and in your family's life.
And dads, let's take it. I want to take it even further, Kathy.
Well, we got to take a short break.
Okay, all right.
So we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to tie it all up for you. We're going to hear what Ron has to say. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
TYRO Dads will help you to see who you really are on the inside by coming to terms with your past, present, and future. You will begin to move forward by using your time on the inside to transform yourself. We know you're not the only one serving time. Your family is too. Overcoming the issues that existed prior to and during incarceration are often more than what many families can survive. TYRO Dads has a unique method of reaching and healing families based on Ron and Catherine Tiarina's own personal experiences. TYRO Dads works exclusively with incarcerated fathers who have minor children. The program lasts for 10 weeks and focuses on intensive character development. You'll be taught to take responsibility for your actions, to own it. You'll be prepared to overcome the obstacles of incarceration and transition back into your home and community, both successfully and permanently. Upon successful completion of this program, you will earn the title of TYRO, which means a warrior, someone learning something new. You will be one of the honored, a man worth following. If you think you have what it takes to be a TYRO, or you want to know more, contact your local project facilitator or your institution staff.
Welcome back to TYRO TV. I'm Ron Tiarina.
And I'm Cathy Tiarina.
And we are having a great time talking about the path that you're going to create for yourself. We're talking about finding that right path that rings true inside you. You know, all of us have been given a measure of pain and suffering, right? We've all been given that dose. There's a measure of pain and a measure of suffering in your life. As a TYRO dad, we've learned that pain and suffering have been our greatest teachers. We will no longer use them as an excuse to fail. So as you're on this path and you've tripped up and you messed up and you cause harm, you know what? We pick up the pieces. We bring healing. We own our experiences. We own it. We own it. We own it. And on this path of success, that means that we're going to help empower others by our past mistakes, right? And Cathy was talking about earlier, as you find your path, maybe it's workforce development and maybe it's your future. But I want to take it back. What I was going to say earlier in the last segment was, you know, you might not know how to read.
Right.
You might need a GED. Come on, dads. I know a lot of men when I was incarcerated that didn't know their ABCs. It's crazy as it sounds, but it's true. And they were very successful in whatever it was they were doing on the streets. They were able to camouflage the weaknesses in their life by having a false bravado or something, whatever it was. But when you're in this path, this is the path you're on to become better, not bitter.
This is a perfect opportunity to figure out, you know, what are the things I've been hiding? What is it that I've been pretending to know when I really don't know? What have I been afraid to ask? Start asking those questions. Where can I go to get my GED? Who can help me learn to read? Who can help me learn my alphabet? Who can help me go to the next level, the next step? And then make the next level temporary. Because every time that you get somewhere, you cannot consider yourself having arrived. Life is a continuous improvement plan. The number one thing you need to do is make sure that you are shifting your life and your choices and your decisions toward the right path. The place that's going to get you where you want to go. It's going to have the outcomes you want, and it's going to build a legacy for your family.
And not everybody's going to be your cheerleader.
And that's okay.
That's okay. But you know what? You are either your worst enemy or your best friend. You got to decide whom you're going to be today. And dads, I want to challenge you that if you're not doing something right now that's getting you closer to your vision or your dream, don't go to bed yet until you do it. Don't do it. Find the path. Start writing down your vision. Start writing down your dreams. We talked about 3 things, and we're going to wrap this up. We talked about don't make it about somebody else. Make sure this is yours,
Right.
and you own it, right? And then we talked about finding that courage that will overcome your fear, right? Fear is good, man. Right?
Yeah,
but don't
that's
let it
right.
dictate how you're going to resolve or deal with it, right? And the third one was silence. Embrace the silence. Separate yourself from all the masses and everybody around you, all the voices you're hearing, and find that quiet place so you can begin to hear yourself think for the first time.
And
right?
actually, number 4 was then figure out what it is you want to do and start doing it. Start working towards it. So if you say, wow, I really, really, really want to be a bricklayer. Okay, what does it take to be a bricklayer? Wow, I got to learn to read blueprints. Wow, I got to learn this craft. I got to learn this master mixing cement, whatever it is. And then start learning it now. Read everything you can about it. Connect to resources. Ask your case manager, wow, if I want to do this, what can I do in here?
What's really exciting is that that you get to reinvent yourself. You're in a place that a lot of people really, you know what? You know, penitentiary is as ugly as it was that got you there. Yes, you don't have to. It doesn't have to define you.
Right.
Right. You got an opportunity to get on a new path. So thank you for allowing us to be part of not only your journey but part of your life. And we hope that we were able to inspire you to reach for greater heights in your own personal life.
So until next time, always remember that
We are rooting for you.